Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the This Is the Music Meets Podcast, an independent podcast show that's dedicated to introducing you to rising indie and alternative artists from across the UK and Ireland. If you're new here, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and please leave us a comment. Don't be shy because I would really love to hear from you. Okay, then let's dive straight into episode 153. And I'm absolutely delighted to be joined by a rising Scottish solo artist in the form of PG Ciarletta. We're going to discuss his brand new single, Heartland, his recently announced UK tour, playing Bridlington Spa, Glasgow to Berlin, and much, much more. Phil, PG, it's obviously a very warm welcome to the This Is the Music Meets podcast. It's a Sunday evening. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well, mate. I'm doing good for a Sunday. Thanks for having me on.
Brilliant, great stuff. Well, it's good to have you here. Obviously, I know we meant to do this last week at Bridlington Spa, but yeah, I think I was scrambled with emotion
Yeah,
by that time, and it would have been yeah, it wouldn't have been very fair to have done that. But obviously, looking across your socials, this week's been a pretty busy week. Obviously, you've been away in Copenhagen with the Tartan Army.
yeah. Obviously we had Bridlington the week before, so had a nice trip to the seaside there for a great festival. And yeah, this Friday, yeah, Copenhagen with the Tartan Army started the World Cup qualifiers. I had a gig across there with a lot of supporters. It was on a boat through the rivers of Copenhagen, which was a bit unique in a sense in terms of the setup and stuff and where I played. It was yeah, no, it was quite a tight space, but we managed to have a great couple of hours on the boat and see beautiful sights inside Copenhagen. Obviously ducking under the bridges and stuff, which was a bit of an experience. There was a video in Belgium of a woman actually getting hit off the head with a bridge going
Oh wow.
past on a boat through. So I was probably thinking we were quite lucky, but no, it was good spirits and a great sing along, and obviously a lovely country to visit as well, Denmark.
Yeah, yeah, sure. So no issues this time then with accommodation. Obviously, I know we was chatting at Bridlington. There was a few sort of last minute issues for you, weren't there?
Yeah, no, obviously it was Thursday night. Your hotel, rock and roll lifestyle, man. Hotel cancelled, so I went from staying just on the beach to slightly outside Bridlington, which was hard getting a taxi. You know, I think I was thankful to some gig goers at the end of the event that they let me go into the hotel lobby to phone on the taxi phone, but then it still took an hour to get a taxi from there. But no, it was a great. Obviously, I was there the Saturday, and I just thought it was a great event, great crowd, and so many talented artists and bands, and then just so many people there, legends in general that come out to watch the up and coming music and get right behind all the bands.
Yeah, definitely. It was a great weekend, and yeah, can only really sort of echo what you've said there, really. So obviously, as I said there in the intro, there's obviously quite a lot to get through, really, in terms of your sort of musical sort of background and obviously where we are today. But obviously, you obviously come from Fife. You obviously draw on your obviously Italian sort of Scottish heritage. How then do you think that has sort of shaped both you in terms of your sound and obviously then the sort of storytelling lyrics that obviously you have got in a number of your songs.
Um, yeah, I think being born from Fife and coming from Fife, it's a very hard working and humble community, as I would say, and there's loads of them around the United Kingdom, and inside those places there's loads of tales and stories about people from there that are stories of pride or stories of heartache, and then obviously you'll see your personal experience coming through these places as well and growing up. And yeah, it gives you a value and it gives you an access to a lot of topics that you can then go in and write songs about. And I think the main thing is probably your work ethic and drive. It's massive. Everybody that gets somewhere in music has to, yes, you'll get wee bits of luck along the way, but you've got to be in the positions to get that break at the end of the day. And you only get that from working hard and not giving up. And when you come from those communities, the only way to do anything in life is to fight for it every day. And that's probably the biggest thing I can take from there. And yeah, to have stories and my personal experiences and be able to turn them into music and just try and get better at it every day is something that I'd always be grateful to that place for. And it's a case of it does happen to quite a lot of people that I hear stories that they do change. But yeah, for me, it's just never forget your roots or where you've came from or the people that backed you. You've got to always represent them and go there and do it for them.
Yeah, yeah, sure, okay. And obviously, then, in terms of that, obviously, I know in previous sort of interviews that you've done, you've obviously mentioned, the influence that like Jerry Cinnamon, and obviously the View have had on you. So then, what then did you take from them in terms of their sort of sound and their ability of storytelling? How then did that sort of transfer into you and into your style?
Yeah, I think probably when I look at like Scottish acts, yeah, Jerry Cinnamon is always one that I get compared to. Mainly because the music starts off the acoustic guitar and has the kick pedal.
Yeah.
The View, and also Glass Vegas as well. I used to love
Yeah.
Glass Vegas, especially album one when I was growing up. So yeah, I'd say mainly, especially the View and Jerry Cinnamon. There's a real sort of choruses, especially.
Mm.
It's very anthemic. There's energy. There's a lot of positivity, even though a lot of the topics sometimes could be very um, not happy. I hope that's a acceptable phrase. But you probably see that in a lot of my songs as well. That like I'll sing about topics that aren't really happy or depressing, but I make them feel happy and
Yeah,
anthemic
yeah.
and joyous when it gets
Mhm.
there. So yeah, I would say just really the lyrical content and the storytelling nature of those songs, combined with just the choruses having high energy and being anthemic. That's probably where I would see my influences come the most. And obviously, being Scottish, acoustic guitar, kick pedal, there's certain acts you get compared to.
And obviously your new single, Heartland, came out last week. Obviously paints a sort of a vivid landscape in terms of, shuttered shops, sort of fading community spaces and sort of like lingering memories. Obviously topics there that you've kind of just touched on there and obviously in your previous couple of answers. So what then inspired you to write this song and was there a sort of maybe a specific place or maybe an event that that sparked the track.
Yeah, I think like if you look at this phase of music, starting with like Freedom when we were young and Heartland, they kind of link together quite nicely. Freedom's
Hmm.
about being in a place and realizing you have to go somewhere else to really make a go of it and try and pursue the life you want to go after. When we were young is really about coming back to that place
Yeah.
after being away for so long, realizing what's changed and be feeling nostalgic and guilty about it. And then freedom's more like describing those places, as in the place you're from. But then you'll probably see I've travelled this year, and especially Scotland and stuff, and went to a lot of places in Scotland that don't really get many gigs in comparison to the likes of Glasgow and Edinburgh. But I've
Hmm.
also travelled to a lot of these places in England as well and been lucky enough to play music. And there's always great people in these areas. But when it comes to art and culture, they are really declining. So
Mm.
the artwork in that single kind of depicts that place. It's really a worn out place where the system has failed. And we do see that in our city townships. And then, for me, the chorus in that song was realizing that, but then everybody coming together to go and do something about it in the best way possible. Event wise, in terms of inspiring it, I think it's just what we're seeing in terms of declining culture. There's
Hmm.
also the hardship in terms of being an up and coming artist, but then also all the venues shutting down up and down the country and places of art as well. So it's really just themes and topics like that.
Yeah, the obviously the venues in particular is it's an odd one, really. I don't, I'm struggling to sort of fully understand why it's happening, and I think there's been a post in the last sort of couple of weeks, obviously the back of the Oasis tour, where people are talking about their first ever headline tour that they did across the UK, and I think there's only something like 9 or 10
Yeah.
of those venues left, which is frightening, really. If you think I can't remember how many dates they did, so 20 or whatever it might have been, but yeah, to see that and obviously as you've just mentioned there, it's scary, really. Where are we gonna, where are the grassroots artists going to get this opportunity to show what they're all about?
Yeah, it is scary, and those are the places where you get the chance to develop your skills and take your first steps. And there is less and less of these places across the country now, which makes it harder to people. And if I was to look back in terms of the last couple of years, I wish there was more places where you could go and play. But yeah, it's a sign of the times we're in. But I think musically, it's a case of artists and bands in the community. We just have to go and fight for it and do something about it so we can make the future better for everybody out there. And that's it, really.
Yeah, absolutely. And just still on Heartland, I just want to sort of kind of like mention a particular lyric that for me really stood out. Don't worry, I won't sing it.
You gotta sing it. Yeah, Sean, come on.
No one needs to hear that. Even if it was late at night on a karaoke, no one needs to hear me sing. Trust me. But the lyric goes, "Meet me in the heartland where the future is in our hands." Obviously, for me, it kind of like stands out as both a rallying cry and sort of like a beacon of hope, really, for the for the future. Is that kind of like the message that you were hoping to send with that particular lyric?
Yeah, so Heartland is, like, in any country, is just like a sacred place that means a lot, and where people come together in this sense to do something about it. So yeah, it was kind of that rallying call of getting people together, because if everybody is together and you have a big crowd and a group behind you, then, and if it's coordinated as well, you have more chance of doing something to improve the situation together. So yeah, that's it. But then I also found that it's also a box set in Canada, so that's what things like Heartland is. It's been running for about 19 series, but yeah, in my sense, it was that rallying call and a sacred place of a country. For us, it's the independent music scene, and us, coming together, enjoying the moment, but using our collectiveness to go and film a box set, not just to go there and change everything for the better.
I'm gonna go and check that out now after this episode. Brilliant, love that. So I'm just gonna sort of rewind a little bit, really, back to 2020. Obviously, your debut single, "The Sesh." I mean, obviously, it did fantastically well. Obviously, topped the iTunes alternative chart, and also charted as well at number 8 in the official Scottish chart as well. When you look back on that, what does that milestone, what did that feel like? First single as well. I mean, obviously, fantastic achievement.
Yeah, it's always for me the start, isn't it? And it's always gonna, that song, it's hard not to have it on the set list, because it's always like the songwriting. And I would say the songs have got better since then, but for a lot of people, that song means a lot just because the time it came in lockdown, when people were having sessions to take their minds off what was going on, responsibly, obviously. But But yeah, for me, it was really the start. And yeah, at that point, I didn't really know much about music and the industry and the scene and stuff. It was just me, putting down an idea on a song for the first time and really, really going for it and releasing it. And yeah, just very grateful and proud that people got behind it. At that time, there was a Scottish singles chart that managed to get to number 8 in. I think it ended up in the top 100 of the actual official UK chart as well.
Right.
So I can see that. Kind of scratch my head like, how did I do that? Number 92 or something.
Yeah.
iTunes alternative, that was great as well. So no, it was a great sort of moment, and it's always going to be your first song, so you're always going to look on it fondly. Obviously, the dynamics of everything, I would say, has changed since then. It was a lot of, people were sitting in houses in lockdown. We're looking on social media more. We're active on social media more. So hitting that spot in terms of putting your music out on social media and how it was easier. Now it's kind of changed slightly because we're back in normal times, and social media and the platforms change all the time as well. But no, it was a great moment, and obviously there's been ups and downs since then, but you never look back after that moment.
Yeah, and when you released it, did you have any expectations in terms of how it would do, or is it just more a case of, well, this is what I've done. This is my music. This is me. Hopefully you listen to it. Was there any? Yeah.
No, zero expectations at that point. It was just literally well, let's release it and see what happens. And maybe it's better to be in that mindset because you don't overthink it. You just put it out there and that's it, and it flies. And obviously when it does a lot better than you expect, and it makes you a lot happier as well. So yeah, no, at that point it was just literally let's just put a song out and see what happens. And probably in terms of how I wrote it, well, it's probably a wee bit of a fluke at that stage too. but it still came together nicely. But yeah, no, therefore it's always a song that makes me smile and stuff, and means a lot to people out there as well. They always remember the sesh.
Yeah, absolutely. And just whilst we're on that sort of like nostalgic kind of like feel, I've got to ask you about Glasgow to Berlin, which obviously came out in the summer of 2020, or just before the summer of 2024, I should say. It obviously got some fantastic exposure. How did the idea for that song first come about?
Yeah, again, this I guess this was TikTok. This was the TikTok day and age, man, when that started to kick in.
Yeah.
So we were playing the Isle of Wight Festival in 2023, and there was a bit more hype in the country about the football team in the European Championship campaign, and they beat Norway away from home. And in the last sort of decades, those results didn't really happen,
Hmm.
and they got quite a lot of results in a row. And I literally walked past a Co-op on Isle of Wight. Festival sponsored by Co-op at that stage, and it was playing Infernal Paris to Berlin. It just an idea came to my head, and I think it was a few months later I posted it on TikTok, and it just went absolutely viral, and it just kept going absolutely viral. And the thing is with TikTok, man, you pretty much got a structure and a plan of like releases and what you want to do next and stuff like that, but then something can happen on TikTok and it just changes what you're doing for the next 6 to 12 months. You know what I mean? And that was that moment. Like I can't like even when you look at how you make content and stuff like that, and like how you get it professionally done, and you try and perfect it and stuff like that, was just me in a room on an iPhone, singing a chorus on guitar, and it just blows up, and it just continuously blew up from then, which was mental, and it kind of really taught me like in terms of how effective and how powerful social media can be in that sense, and like what it takes for people to quickly know the songs.
Hmm.
But yeah, from TikTok to national stadiums, national radio, national television, European television, to then going out to Germany in the summer, playing to massive crowds. Always special memories because like every year there's always festivals, there's a chart
Hmm.
every week and stuff like that. So in terms of a normal standard music career, there's things you can do every year. But with that whole from Glasgow to Berlin stuff, there's a lot of stuff there that is quite unique and you'll never do it again. Obviously, there's a trade-off to that kind of gets pushed over me then building what
Hmm.
I'm doing now with my
Hmm.
original
Hmm.
music that applies to Scotland and beyond. Uh, but yeah, no, special time, special memories, and there's a lot of experiences in that. I'm sure that will be, very positive for me in the future when I get to certain levels.
Yeah, yeah, sure. And unfortunately, I'm going to be that person who's going to focus on that for a little bit longer. So I do apologise for that. But obviously, just for people that maybe aren't aware really as much as anything. But obviously, it was picked up by sort of the likes of Sky Sports News. You appeared on Talk Sport, obviously BBC Sports up in Scotland as well, Sky Italia as well. And obviously, you did obviously go over to Germany and obviously played in the official UEFA fan zone party as well. Obviously, said there as part of the Euro 2024 football tournament. So yeah, so when you like look back on that, do you have to pinch yourself that you just explained there that it was written in a room just on your iPhone with just a rough idea, and then here you are, fast forward of 2023, you said, so fast forward 12 months, and then you're then appearing on all of these stations and getting these opportunities. So at any moment during that it was going on, was you thinking, like, what the bloody hell was going on here type of thing? Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, can you remember like the sort of feelings and all of that around that?
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. I would say, like, even this year, going into the Talksport studio for the first time,
Mm,
and and being in the dugout and in the punch bag machine and everything like
yeah,
that. And
yeah,
because
yeah.
yeah, I've listened to Talksport a lot of my life, and same with Sky Sports News, man. Like, we grew up watching the football news
Mhm.
on that, so yeah, there were certain moments there of being like, oh my god, what it's like, because you're in there with people you've watched all your life and listened to all your life. So yeah, there is pinch me moments there, and it's great to get there and get those sort of support. But yeah, at the time of the Euros, man, like every day, my phone was just like, right, so they want you to come on this, and can you come on this channel and this thing, and someone's coming to Sweden from Glasgow to do a documentary. They want to meet you, so it was madness, and yeah, like even this year at Truck Festival, someone at the end was like, why did you not play Glasgow or Berlin? The same at Brid. And I was supporting the K's in Edinburgh. I think this was back in, I'm sure it was June time. Great night, but again, people shouting from the crowd, play Glasgow to Berlin, and I did it that night, and the place went mental. So, I suppose it's a song, especially in Scotland, that people kind of know me for. So you always have to give it to them because, like in terms of feeling, you never forget great moments, and people never forget how you made them feel as well. So, it's always a period in time I'll always remember positively.
Yeah, sure. I can imagine, and obviously as well. Obviously, you've touched on the three singles obviously that you've put out this year already, which obviously have been going down fantastically well. It has to be said, but also as well, this year has been really good on the on the live front as well. Obviously, you just mentioned Truck Festival, obviously Bridlington Spa, this Feeling by the Sea festival, and obviously the K's supporting it as well, and one or two others as well in there. And that, when you look back, obviously there's still some big things to come, which we're going to touch on in a minute. But when you look back in sort of this first sort of where are we 8 or 9 months so far of 2025, and you look back on the live stuff, sort of how successful do you feel it has been, and how has it gone for you?
Yeah, it's definitely growing. Obviously, indie rock music, guitar music, the live side of it's massive. Like you've got to get out there and meet people. You've got to make great music and get better at it, and you've got to be very visible online these days. And you've got to be a good person as well. But I still think in terms of getting your music out there and guitar and indie music, just getting on the right stages and right festivals has a big impact because then it gives you a chance to really win people over.
Yeah.
The support side's been great. The Freddie Halkin tour was amazing. The K's supporting them was great as well. Supporting Andrew Cushion, supporting Lloyd Umford twice. Again, an artist I've supported, but an artist in terms of his music I absolutely love and thinks top level. They've all been great experiences and great stages for me to be on. When I supported Freddie, it was a sold out Leadmill, which was a great night. Again, me and the acoustic guitar and the kick pedal comes on and the crowd's already rocking. So yeah, the atmosphere and the audiences at those gigs were special. And for any act in my head, it's if you get in the right stages, right support slots, and you make the most of it, it puts you in a better stead. And from there it's then going on and building your own headline shows as well. So I'm looking forward to November, and I think November time is the sort of biggest indicator of all for this year. But certainly the festivals and the supports have been great in building towards that.
Yeah, sure. Well, let's talk about that now, because obviously in the last sort of week or so, you've announced a 4-date UK tour. First few weeks of November, you're going to be taking in London, Sheffield, Newcastle, and Manchester, and all the ticket links are all in the episode bio. So if you're in any of those areas or nearby or anything, then do go and grab a ticket. How excited are you? To be going back out on the road and playing these England dates?
Yeah, no, obviously very excited. That's for me, like the live and the show side is the best experience and feeling of all. So they're all cities now that I've had great nights in terms of supports and like festivals. So I'm very excited to go back there and build the sort of audiences I've got in those areas as well. So 4 dates in England. We'll be adding 2 dates for Scotland as well. One in the north, Aberdeen, and also Glasgow as well for just after that. I'm not forgotten about Scotland. Like my actual home, you know what I mean? I'm like, I need to add some dates there. This year, again, a lot of great nights in England. So it's going back to these places and building it. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm sure they're going to, as I say, all the links are in the episode bio, and I'm sure that all the dates are going to be fantastic. But I guess as well, looking even further into to November. Something that I think is fair to say, looking at the little sort of promo videos that have gone out, that you're probably really excited for. Obviously, you're going to be heading over to Sweden for the Viva Sounds Festival at the end, say the end of November. So, yeah, how are you feeling about performing over there? Because in the last few years, I've had some really big artists from sort of the UK and obviously Scotland and Ireland and everything else sort of go over there, haven't they?
Yeah, on the Dish Feeling stage as well. I think in the
Mm.
last couple of years, there's been a lot of acts playing Viva Sounds and being on the Dish Feeling stage that I've went on to great things. I think Good Health, Good Wealth for one of them.
Yeah, yeah.
The Lilacs as well. So, nah, very excited. When you make music, you obviously want to take it around the United Kingdom, and you obviously then want to go into Europe and get chances to play there. So, yeah, I'm buzzing for that, and obviously I'm just grateful and thankful to This Feeling, Mikey
Mm.
Johns
Yeah.
and George Holmes and all the team there as well, because they've always given me a chance and they've always backed my music. So, for me, it's about me repaying that loyalty and doing the best I can with my music and my shows to build it with them. So no, it's been great, and it's an exciting festival to be a part of. I'm on the same contingent of a lot of other exciting acts as well. The Slates and um, Long Island and
Yeah.
the Cases. See, my mind went blank because I was thinking of the Cases there. How can I forget them? They go viral on TikTok every week.
Exactly, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a great lineup, and yeah, it's going to be a great time across there.
Yeah, sure. And sort of maybe for people obviously in both in Sweden and maybe a little bit closer to home who maybe haven't caught you live yet, Phil. Why should they come and see you? And what would you hope that they take away from your performance? Your live act.
Yeah, because it's a mad piss up now. I'm joking. Yeah, no, I think for me, really, the storytelling in the verses is something that we all relate to. It represents us all, and then yeah, the choruses is a real energy, upbeat, and a celebration of the music. So yeah, I think that's really why people should come out, and we obviously want to build that and be part of something that goes to a high level. It's like being part of a successful football team. Nobody wants to be a losing football team, but yeah, no, like I want to see the gigs of people coming, great energy from the night, people jumping about, people singing word for words, and they're all easy songs to sing, and see it really build from there. So, but yeah, that's I know the crowds that come and the people are always going to give me 110%. So for me, it's about giving 110% back and giving it my all out there. So come along in November.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, well, just sort of, are you someone that, knowing that you've got these gigs coming up, are you someone that likes to sort of get your set sorted like nice and early, or are you still maybe working on a couple, know what you're going to be playing, or are you very much leaving it up to the last minute, or you maybe even going to surprise people and maybe slip, a couple of new ones in there, if of course there's
Yeah,
anything on the horizon, of course.
yeah. So I think I've kind of got a rough idea what I'll play, how the set will flow. But yeah, there'll always be one or two surprises in there. And yeah, a lot of the times the best moments of the nights are improvised moments that just happen. You can end of the day you can rehearse and practice all you want in a room or a rehearsal pad, but until you're out there on the actual stage, that's when you're getting your proper experience and building. So yeah, I kind of have a skeleton of what I'm going to play, and then from there I can tweak it and kind of chuck in a few surprises and improvise on the night as well.
Absolutely, and I'm sure if that may well include Glasgow to Berlin as well, if anyone calls out for it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I never like from Glasgow to Berlin. It's never like written on the set list. It's just
It's
if
there.
someone shouts it and the crowd demand it, which happens a lot of times, then I just play it. Then I
Then
just play it. But it is funny. It's always rehearsed and ready to go.
Yeah, yeah, probably the best way to be, by the sounds of it, from what you've been saying. But On every This Is the Music Meets podcast, we ask our guests a series of questions that sort of designed to be a little bit more like light-hearted and help the listeners find out a little bit more about the artist, obviously that we're chatting to. PJ, what was the first gig that you ever went to as a punter?
Um, I think it's either the View or Sergeant.
Right.
One of those
Okay.
two, like
Yeah.
East Coast
Yeah.
indie rock Scottish acts. I think it was Sergeant actually. I think it was Sergeant and Dundee of all places.
Oh wow. Right. Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they're a great act. A lot of great songs as well. And yeah, when we grew up in our areas, it was kind of the View and Sergeant. That was our bands at the time that people would
Mhm.
go out and see.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Lovely. Lovely. Yeah. Blast from the past there, Sergeant. Blimey. Bloody hell. You've obviously played at a number of festivals in the last sort of couple of years. But is there a dream festival that you'd like to play at?
Dream Festival. Yeah, it'd just be Glastonbury, wouldn't it? That's kind of the
Yeah.
World Cup of festivals. So the Champions League final of festivals. Yeah, that would be the one. I think anybody that plays there knows it's a special festival. And then up in the home patch, it'd be being on the main stage at Transmit. That's what you kind of dream of.
Yeah. 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 Sure. Definitely. Okay. Love that. And obviously you're heading out on tour. What's the one snack that you have to bring on the road that might potentially remind you of Fife?
Right, a deep fried pizza or
Brilliant.
oh man.
Okay, what's like the strangest gig that you've ever played, or maybe like a strangest thing that you've seen, in the crowd, maybe someone wearing some sort of like weird fancy dress outfit or anything like that.
The weirdest thing that happened at a gig. Um, I can't really think off the top of my head. I've seen people fancy dress, which is a bit like, what's going on here? Seen people holding stuff up with phones, asking for things to be played, or if they can come on the stage and play the guitar or play a song with you, and you're like, I'm the support act, like nobody's got a clue. I mean, or you just let it get on the stage beside me, and it's in front of like 1,000 people. But and then I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, football side of things, gig wise, there's always a lot of like mad moments, I would say. But yeah, there's probably something like that. But
Yeah, yeah, okay, sure. And you've only got one song left to play in your set. The only song you can play. You have to play in every single gig that you can do. It can either be one of yours or open it up. It can be a song that anyone else has written. What song are you choosing that you've always got to play no matter what?
from Glasgow, and a 15-minute encore.
Brilliant. I knew you were going to say that as well.
uh, but that'd either be that or probably the sesh. That's always even at Bred, they always find a way. If I've ran out of time or there's not a lot of time yet, I've always got a wee bit to fit it in right at the end. So
Yeah.
one of those two.
Yeah, brilliant, brilliant. Okay. So obviously, we've mentioned about the UK tour that you've got coming up and obviously heading over to Sweden. But what else have you got sort of in store, sort of looking beyond that?
Yeah, obviously, end of this year is the tour, and then yeah, just building the musical catalogue. Obviously, today it's just been a lot of singles, but yeah, I'm at the point now where I want to go for something bigger now, whether it's EPs or albums. So yeah, I'm just building my catalogue as much as I can at this moment in time, and I want to kick on with that next, and then from there, obviously, you can plan your tours and your shows off the back of that. So yeah, it's just keeping that cycle going.
Brilliant, brilliant. Look, Phil, unfortunately, that is the end.
Oh man,
This is the Music Meets
I didn't get
podcast.
to play from Glasgow to Berlin, mate. Come on.
Well, at the end of this episode, it's going to be on. No, no, no. Um,
Oh man.
Look, seriously, thanks so much for coming on and giving up your Sunday evening and having a little chat and sort of finding out a little bit more about you. I've really enjoyed that. It's been some good laughs and some real great insight, as I say. But before I do let you go, can you let the This Is the Music listeners know the social media platforms that they can find PG Ciarletta on?
Yeah, the weirdest, strangest place I've gigs came at my head. The Murrayfield Stadium roof.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah,
Hang on. How actually did that happen?
TikTok again. Yeah,
Right.
that was connected to football as well. So I think before a big game, I posted a video of Flowers Scotland and Loch Lomond, which are
Yeah.
massive Scottish tunes, and again they went viral. And yeah, ended up on the right radars, and yeah, I got invited to play at Murrayfield Stadium on the pitch, and then yeah, I think what happened was Jamie Webster,
Hmm.
Liverpool versus Napoli at Murrayfield Stadium in a friendly. He done a performance of a Liverpool song on the roof, and they wanted to try it with a Scottish act at a Scottish game. So they wanted to test that with me. So that's how I ended up on the roof at Murrayfield Stadium in front of thousands of people.
Yeah, yeah. Were you scared of heights before you did that, or not, or?
There was a few nights I stayed up quite late thinking, what happens if the wind's a bit strong that day, and what happens if it's not that the space is that wee in terms of view to the roof edge. But no, it was fine in the moment. You get that much adrenaline and that much energy that you're just in the zone, and it's just sink or swim in it. You've just got to absolutely go for it. So, but that was great.
Brilliant. Okay, I'm sure. Yeah, look out. I'm sure there's some footage knocking around somewhere of that. So yeah, go and check that out if you haven't already seen it, right?
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, social media platforms and streaming platforms. Yeah, it's just PG, P and then a G for golf, and then Ciarletta. It's just that's what it is on TikTok, Instagram, X, Facebook, Spotify, Apple Music, all these places. So yeah, that's how you find me and the music.
Brilliant, great stuff. Look, we'll put those links in the episode bio, obviously as well as we mentioned earlier on, all the dates as well to your tour and obviously the festival over in Sweden, and obviously as well the link as which is obviously going to be on Spotify and Apple Music, but the link as well to the new single Heartland, which we are going to play at the end of this show as well. So do stick around and listen to that. Phil, as I say, look, thanks very much for coming on. And I really do wish you continued success. I am a fan of what you've been doing over the sort of last 3 or 4 years that I've been sort of keeping tabs on you. So yeah, keep on doing it because there's some great tunes in there, and it's really good to see as well that your following just keeps getting bigger and bigger. So yeah, keep on doing what you're doing, mate.
No worries, mate. Thanks for having me on. It's been an absolute pleasure.
And all that leaves me to say is to thank everyone for listening to the latest This Is the Music Meets podcast. Please subscribe so you never miss out on any brand new episodes. And if you are loving the podcast, I would love to hear from you. So do please leave a comment. If you're listening to this episode on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, then stay tuned because at the end of the episode, you'll be able to hear Heartland, the brand new single by PG Ciarletta, which is out now on all streaming and download platforms. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you very soon for another This Is the Music Meets podcast. And remember, the future is bright, the future is indie.